Welcome. Today we are going to take another topic from grammar, and that is finite and non-finite verbs. So welcome to English Conspectus. Today we will be reading about finite verb and non-finite verb. We will be discussing in detail about the finite verb. So verbs. Here in this picture you can see that there are some actions performed by these particular images like listen, read and speak. So verbs, words that express an action or tell us what a person is, was, does, did or has had are called verb. So it means that if any action is done, that we call as verb. Like here we can see that someone is listening, reading and speaking. So here performance, some action is being done, so that we call as verbs. Now verbs are further divided into two. What are they? First one is finitive and the second one is non-finite verb. So finite verb. Now let's just move towards finite verb. Why we are taking this topic? Because in sentences, phrases and clauses, the previous video, I have just found that students are having doubt in this section, that they are not clear with what are finite and non-finite verb. So before moving, we already know that verb, there are three kinds of verb, like doing verb, being verb and having verb. In doing verb, like it indicates the action or work done by the subject, like play, eat, read, go. Second form, being verb, it indicates being or existence of the subject, like is, am, are, these all are coming in this. Will, be, shall be, being, been. And having verb, so it means that it shows possession of something or belonging, like has, have, had, having, etc. And again these verbs are further divided into two, that is main verb and the second one is auxiliary or helping verb, that you all are aware of. On the basis of forming three basic verb forms, like first form of the verb, second form of the verb and third form of the verb, it is again divided into two, that is regular verb and irregular verb. So what is the main difference between regular verb and irregular verb? That how you are going to identify is that whenever we will be talking about regular verb, so we know that verbs are the first form of the verb, second form of the verb and the third form of the verb. So in this regular verb, it forms its second form and third form by simply adding ed or t to its root form of the verb, that is v1, like worked, second form will be worked and the third form will be worked, like cry, cried and cried. So cry is the first form, second form is the cried and the third form is also cried. So here ed is added in cry, cry, and it becomes cried. So ed is added in this root form of the verb to make it second and third form of the verb. So this is known as regular verb. And next, what is irregular verb? It forms second form of the verb and third form of the verb independently. It means that they are not dependent on first form of the verb. Like example, eat, ate, eaten, okay, go, went and gone. So these three are different, so that's why we call it as irregular verb. Now next are transitive verb and intransitive verb, and today we are going to discuss about the finite and non-finite verb. So while talking about finite verb, you have to always keep in your mind that, as I already told you, finite, the very word, it means that to limit or to restrict something. So here what we are restricting these verbs to tense, person or number. Now in next slide we will be seeing that how this works. Like finite verb, so the verb that changes according to the time of action, it means tense, present, past or future, or the number of people doing the action, like number, what comes in number, singular or plural, and the person, and what comes in the person, first, second or third person pronouns, okay, doing the action is called as finite verb. And on the other hand, non-finite verb is directly opposite to the finite verb, because here tense, number, person are not going to play any role. Now let us take example of finite verb. So here we can see the picture that someone is writing. So our main verb that we are going to take is write, and we will be seeing that how this finite verb works when we are talking in the perspective of tense. Like first example is Martha writes a letter. So write is a verb, it becomes writes. Martha will write a letter. We can see how tense is changing. Martha is writing a letter. Okay, so in all this thing you can find that the verb write is changing according to the tense. Last one, Martha wrote a letter. So here we can find that everywhere when according to the tense the verb is also changing. Now moving to the next, talking about the person. I paint a picture, you paint a picture, she paints a picture. So here what is our verb? Verb we have taken is paint. Like first person, when we are talking about the first person, then the paint is remaining paint. I paint a picture. But when we are talking about the third person, she, it becomes paints. So it means that it is changing according to the person. So this is a finite verb. Like person, you are already knowing that I, if I am speaking something, then I am the first person. Speaker is the first person. Listener, if I am talking to you and you're listening to me, then listeners are the second person, and about whom we are talking, they are the third person. Like we are talking about someone else, she. Okay, so this is the third person. Now moving forward to our next one, that is number. That how it helps to, that we will be seeing the examples of number. Like here we have taken the verb draw. Okay, so Lucy draws a picture. Here singular and plural you have to remember. Lucy and Chuck draw a picture. So here draw, you can see that this verb is changed according to the number, according to the singular and plural. And now let us understand this concept on the perspective of non-finite verb. Like I like painting, you like painting, she likes painting, he liked painting, she will like painting, they like painting. So in this what happened, I like painting. So here you can see that painting is the non-finite verb because it is not changing according to the person or according to the number or according to the tense. But here we can say that like is changed, like I like, you like, she likes, and this. Okay, so painting is not changing. So this we call as non-finite verb, where there is, now in this example it will be clear that non-finite verb does not have tense. It does not change its forms, whatever be the time of action, number of people doing the action, or person doing the action. It means that tense, number and person doesn't play any role in this. Now what are non-finite verbs? In a very brief manner we will be talking about, so that you will be aware of these things. When talking about non-finite verbs, it is further divided into two. One is infinitive and the second one is, it is divided into three. First one is infinitive, gerund and participle. So, okay, so these are the three divisions of non-finite verbs: infinitive, gerund and participle. Again, infinitive is divided in two main things. There are two infinitive, and the second one is bare infinitive. So two infinitive and bare infinitive. So it is very important to know what does this infinitive mean. So infinitive, you can directly consider it as the first form of the verb. Okay, first form of the verb, where it comes, there you have to identify it as a infinitive. So when two infinitive, it means that when infinitive, the first form of the verb comes along with two, that time we know it as two infinitive. And bare, what is the meaning of bare? Bare means only. So when there is only, you are going to find the first form of the verb, that you will be considering as bare infinitive. And gerund, we know that gerund is made up of verb plus ing. Okay, first form of the verb plus ing. So they are known as gerunds. And participle is again further divided into three: present participle, past participle and perfect participle. Now let us talk about the infinitive. That I have already told you that to infinitive, infinitive means first form of the verb, and when we are going to divide it into the further sections that are to infinitive and bare infinitive, then in to infinitive the rule that or the structure we are going to find is to plus first form of the verb. And when we used to talk about the bare infinitive, we are going to find only one verb. Okay, so it bare means only, so you are going to find only one verb, that is first form of the verb. Gerund, you will be finding first form of the verb along with ing. In present participle also you are going to find first form of the verb along with ing. Okay, so what is the main difference between gerund and present participle? Because gerund, it will be always symbolizing for noun, but on the other hand, when we are going to talk about present participle, so the first form of verb and ing, here it represent any adjective. Okay, so when an adjective you are going to find ing, so that is our present participle, and when there is a noun and you are going to find an ing, it representing before a noun, so you are going to find gerund. Okay, participle, past participle, you are going to find only third form of the verb, and in perfect participle you are going to find having plus third form of the verb. So let us wrap up. From the starting we discussed about the verb, doing verb, being verb and having verb, that what are they, then principal and auxiliary verb, then we talked about regular verb and irregular verb. Like in regular verb, it is dependent that first form of the verb, when we used to add something ed or t at the end, then we are going to find that second form of the verb and third form of the verb. On the other hand, irregular verb, it is independent, like go, went and gone, all the three are different. Then the other parts are transitive verb and intransitive verb, and recently we discussed about the finite and non-finite verb. So finite verb is very important for you to know this concept, now finite and non-finite verb, in order to do your sentences, phrases and clauses. And again, moving towards the finite verb, you have to only remember that it is limited to tense, person and number. In non-finite verb, you have to only this is for your reference, okay, that you have to only understand the concept at this level. Like infinitive, gerund and participle, non-finite verbs are divided into three: infinitive, gerund and participle. Infinitive is further divided into two: to infinitive and bare infinitive, where to plus first form of the verb you are getting and only plus first form of the verb you are going to get. Gerund, first form of the verb plus ing. Noun, in this gerund wherever comes you have to remember noun. Participle, present participle, past participle and perfect participle. Not to get confused between gerund and present participle, because present participle is also made up of first form of the verb plus ing, but here you have to remember adjective. And what happens here in past participle? It means that simply third form of the verb, and perfect participle means having plus third form of the verb. So that's it. If you like my video, you can press the like button. Also you can subscribe the channel. So thank you.